Cancer, it's time for your mid-month update. I hope things have been going well for you. When we last got to talk to one another, there was a lot of change afoot, and there was the opportunity for something new to come in, and maybe even some kind of new relationship. If you haven't seen that lunar return video, have a look at that before you watch this one. This is kind of like the checkup, right? Like when I do the lunar return reading, so that's when the moon goes into Cancer and it either hits your sun or your moon or your rising sign. And that's a great time to set an intention. So now the moon is all the way over opposite your sign in Capricorn. And so that's your personal full moon. Sometimes when we get to that stage, the best laid plans of mice and men, right? Things are crazy, just like the general full moon, the emergency rooms fill up and the world is filled with lunacy. So that can be the same on your path. Everything looks kind of stable and you're moving forward. And then as you get to the full moon, it kind of falls apart. And then in my experience, comes back together based on the intentions that you made. So what I've done here is I've done I've pulled 3 cards, haven't had a look yet. So Brotherhood of Light card for the main energy, and then an archetype card to give you something to identify with, an archetype to identify with to help you through, and then a Sacred Destiny Oracle card for some inspiration. So let's have a look and see. I hope you're doing well, Cancer. Okay, so the energy card that I have for you is the Two of Scepters. It was reversed. You might remember from our last reading that in the Brotherhood of Light Tarot cards, a reverse card does not mean negative. It just means slower to express itself. Okay, so this has to do with business and let's call it methodology. Okay, so it is the Leo decadent of Aries, and it is also Virgo. So it is analytical. It is also has lots of energy. So it's sometimes related to business. Um, so you are concocting a vision of yourself, okay, and you're doing it in a kind of methodical way, and you're accounting for your passion. Okay, so I believe the last card we had for you was Arcanum 20, so some kind of transformation. And so, in the course of the transformation, this card actually supports that in my estimation. So sometimes transformation is something that happens to us. Okay, so we're on a desert island and we're talking to a volleyball kind of thing. Okay, um, when transformation happens in a slower regard, like it's self transformation, it's self initiated. Um, this card to me is like the method. Where are you going really? Right? It's not a when you go into Google Maps and you make the map, of your destination, then it's each of the steps. These are the steps. Okay? This is very positive work. Okay? So as you transform this month, knowing how you're going to get to where you want to go is a really incredibly good part of this. I mean, cancers tend to be a pretty feeling based sign, a water sign, emotional. Um, this is not like that. Okay, this is practical steps towards a goal. This is an excellent card. So the more you can engage with that energy, that's what's coming up right now. If you're feeling confused or clouded, as is sometimes the case at the full moon, make a list, right, of the things you want to accomplish or do, or places you want to go, and how you might get there, or in what time you might get there, or what are the steps. Science, right? The scientific methodology applied to your situation. It's also in business as well, right? This could be practical matters related to business, but there's action here, there's planning, there's method, sorry about my word speaking, methodology, okay? There's all of those things inherent here. So stick with it. That's what that says to me. There's a very positive card you're on a journey, putting the pieces in place. You're feeling your way through it in terms of the steps rather than the emotions. Okay, you're not thinking about the whole thing. You've you've chunked it down into little manageable bits. It's really good. Good. Keep going in that way. I love that card. It's a card of getting stuff done, and not in some kind of chaotic way, but in a step by step manner. Okay, what archetype did we pull for you? Whew, this is a heavy one. Thanatos. Okay. Are you reflecting on some deep issues here, Cancer? Hmm. Let me look this one up. I know this is one of the later ones, one of the kind of base energies in this deck. This is, of course, the archetype, Wild Unknown archetype deck. Fantastic deck of cards. I'm curious about this in this reading, so I'm going to read it, and I'm going to. It is tempting to oversimplify death and sum it up as transformation. Oh, transformation was a part of what we read last time. That was the Arcanum 20. But the true archetypal resonance of Thanatos cannot be assimilated or contained. Death is ongoing and omnipresent, an eternal response to the gift of birth, witnessing the ending of another being, creature, phase, or stage has deep consequences for the psyche. We are forever changed by Thanatos, and it sweeps us under its wings, making us relinquish control. In every form, it leaves a mark of ash upon your heart, signifying we have touched the cusp of the underworld and will return to the land of the living eventually, with more compassion and wisdom to share. This capacity is needed in our world. One who has faced the annihilation of Thanatos can face anything. When this card appears, it signifies an initiation into the underworld. Wow. Mm. So it's like bearing witness, uh, coming to terms with the transformation that was indicated already. So, there was a transformation. And I remember one of your cards suggested, the possibility of a new romance or something like that. Um, this is, and I remember saying that I keep notes on all of my readings, by the way. I had to look at the notes before I started this. That I didn't think that it was some new romance. It was more like the possibility was being the ground was being set for that kind of situation to enter in, and in a sense, this methodology that you're going through in the process of transforming yourself, your life, your relationship, your situation, you're touching on some deep themes here, and this card is saying touch on them. Okay, don't gloss over them. You're a deep feeling person, and so it only makes sense that you would go deep here. And while this speaks to not superficiality, because none of these cards are superficial really, it speaks to method, and this speaks to depth. Okay, so keep going in the method. That's the energy indicated, but be aware of your own depth. Okay, and the depth of life itself. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have to tell you that I was in Paris last week, Paris, France, and I went to the catacombs. And if you don't know what this is, but underneath Paris, like there's millions of bones that have been stacked. And when I saw this card, it reminded me of it. It's like you can't imagine seeing that many skeletons all at once. And then there you are in this corridor lined with skeletons everywhere. It's profound. And I feel like you're having that kind of experience. So go for it. Have it. It's so deep. Okay. And to trust it. That's the inspiration here. Trust. Okay. You're focused on the practical, you're getting steps done. You can't ignore the depth that's been revealed to you. And if you've had to experience death, this may represent some kind of grieving. Changes. When we read the cards, we don't see things like that. What we see are energies, right? And the last energy that you finish with, the Arcanum 20, is kind of like death. It's kind of like a transformation, a moving to another state. And this is like that as well. right? We move to another state, but we're aware of the depth that we're leaving behind or where we are inherent. And then to trust that, right? Let me just read that trust card because I think it's a really beautiful reading. I really think that things are going in your direction here, Cancer, and I love that. This is powerful, important card to receive. Even when things seem pushed or not fruitful, a deeper energy speaks. I'm holding it the wrong way. A deeper energy speaks of the power of your inner knowing. Meditate, trust those nudges from the universe. Your celestial advisors are close now. You are now open to receive some of the most important messages of your life through your intuition. Your intuition is spot on, so trust it. And even if there are some areas of life that seem lackluster, know that other areas are being fertilized for a resplendent future. Have faith and know there is a higher purpose. Absolutely great. Okay? These are ideals, right? Methodology is about, like uh change with ideal, with a plan. There's a plan, okay? Be aware of your depth and don't ignore it. It's one of your strengths. Cancer, I'll see you in a couple of weeks and we'll do another intention setting at your new moon. Meanwhile, if you have any comments, I'd love to hear how this resonates with you. Like and subscribe and leave me a comment. If it resonates with you, tell me how things are going. I'm really curious. Peace.